two.
And we are live. Okay, so welcome in, everybody. This is our last and final episode of the live action series review of Avatar The Last Airbender. Now, we know and love the animated series, so how did the Netflix live action measure up? We've got Avatar Rico here. We've got a tall earthbender here. We've got Toph,
Represent, represent.
our fan guest, coming in for this conversation because this is a fan related podcast. We want to hear from folks who are also big fans of the show. And so, Toph, do you have a few words you want to share with us before we jump right into this review?
um, I'm honored to be here. But I'm just excited to discuss with other, Avatar fans because it's been years that I need to speak my truth.
Amen to
But
that.
excited.
Oh, yes. We're so happy to have you here. Again, we're big fans of the Avatar universe. We love Avatar. We're
It
just so
just
happy
won't
to.
go away.
What was that?
I'm sorry. I said it just won't go away.
It won't. It won't.
Agreed.
And
As
for
far
good
as
reason.
the love for the show, it just won't dwindle. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't be sorry about that. Profess that love. but yeah, we're here to talk about episode 8, Legends. This is the season finale of the Netflix live action series, y'all. It ends the series on a bang, similar to what we saw in the animated series. This is the lead in into season 2, which we know is going to be which has been greenlighted by Netflix. So
Wow.
we are gonna
Wow.
be seeing a season 2 and into season 3 of this live action series. But we'll get into what we think is gonna come up next. Let's get into what we just saw, episode 8. All right, so let's just set the scene. Episode 8 opens up into the soot falling into the sky. The Fire Nation has arrived to the Northern Water Tribe. It is their time to be reckoned by the Fire Nation during this war. So we see them trying to ward off some of the ships initially. Toph, I'm gonna start with you. What's your initial kind of like your gut reactions, your feelings? What are you thinking when you're seeing the Fire Nation coming into the Water Tribe as it compares to the animated series?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, all right. Like we already know that they're gonna do it a bit differently, right? So I'm like, okay, let's see what how they're gonna like come up about it. And not bad. It's just not bad. Like I sorry, it's been a minute since I had seen the live action and I refuse to watch it again. So um so from what I remember is that I can't remember if it was that episode that they were like, okay, Master Katara, before even like
It is that episode.
it yeah, okay, so I was like,
Episode.
you didn't even see what she's done yet. Like you haven't even
Right.
where's the where's the fight? Okay, whatever. From that, I was just like, okay, she's Master Katara. Like you just a few wait. I can't remember if like in this like version women are allowed to waterbend or not. Like besides healing, I can't remember if they are able to waterbend for combat in this version. Are they?
No, no.
Yeah, so what
No.
the fuck? Yeah, so like Master Katara, I think you can help. Like what that right off the bat, I was just like
Yeah.
very fast paced. I don't know, it's very cheap. Like you could tell that they were gonna focus a lot more on like whatever stuff they were gonna come up with like for the rest of the episode. that was my biggest one of my biggest pet peeves. But whoever wants to take the next, like whoever wants to add on to like the first
Right.
part of the scene, whoever
Momo.
take it.
Yeah, I'll go next, and then I'll toss
Sorry,
it back to
sorry.
you. No, it's okay. You
It's
actually brought up
okay.
a really good point. Like,
I'm holding mine till later, but I'm gonna let Momo
Oh Lord.
You
do
know,
her thing.
like they're taking out some ships and stuff, and they're trying to ready. Let's
Yeah.
get in. Let's just drive right into this Katara business and how she's
Sorry.
all of a sudden the master, right?
Oh my
Because
goodness.
it kind of parallels a little bit to her battle with Zuko later on in the episode, right? So, she takes it. It's a lot actually. So they're readying their defenses. Han and Sokka are buddies somehow.
Weird.
Compared to the animated
Bros.
series where they're just completely opposite. He hates him, and like some people, like it's two people come up and be like, "Hey, Master Katara, what do we do?" And
Yeah.
she's all like, "I'm not mad." And then she's like, "Maybe I am." And I was like, "Girl, you ain't no master. Like, shut up."
I'm disappointed on that.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting because that doesn't really happen in the animated series like that. What we see in the live action is that like she takes on this supervising role very quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like the animated series, Katara is a little bit more humble than that. She's still strong-headed. She's still like, but if that was presented to her, she would have been like, "I'm not a master, but yes, let me help you." And then on top of that, like Paku, is it like because Paku lost the fight? Like what's going on? Katara also brought the all the healers, which is all women. Like we're ready to fight, and I liked that in a sense. It didn't really happen in the animated series, and I have to like
No.
yeah, it didn't really happen like
No.
that. And so it's like
we never saw the healers like ever again.
No.
even me,
Yeah.
I was thinking like, so who's gonna heal the soldiers? Like
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
but anyway, like there was a little bit more of an emphasis on like the girls can fight, yes. And it was kind of like, I don't think that was necessary.
It was not. This is where I felt
Because they can't. They're just healers. Like they didn't learn
Wait,
combat.
Wait.
All right, it's all Earthbender. What do you got to say about that? Let me pass it up to you.
Because no, I'm in full agreement with all of you. The part of that scene that really takes the cake is when Katara and Paku are engaged in this conversation. In the middle, it's all out war, and then a heart. Excuse me. Then a heart. They're in a heartfelt discussion
Yeah.
about I'm not going to say that word on live, but it's a measuring contest. Let's put it like that. And she's like, "Hey, I can do this. I can fight." And then here comes the lady that's over the healers. Listen to her. Enough is enough. You got fire flying all over the place, stuff blowing up, people getting their head blown off. You got people running in the back, running past these 2-3 actors, and then Haku realizes by looking at like a dozen women that's on like a second level of the Northern Water Tribe, and they all are standing erect. in a sequence, they all in line. Like who lined them up? That's not even a fighting battle stance. They're standing there like the statues where Aang walked into the room and saw statues of all the avatars in the live in the animated series. They're standing there just looking at the Paku like, and then he realized, okay, well, I'm gonna let them fight, but that's not realistic at all.
No.
I mean, you guys are at war. You got hundreds of ships out there launching all these fireballs. They're standing there. They're having this heartfelt discussion. I thought it was very ridiculous. I thought it was very unrealistic. So that's why I'm laughing. I couldn't hold that part in. So yeah,
they were literally like throwing in fireballs, and then she's like, "The women can fight." And the people are getting blasted out here. Like, bro, make a decision. Let's go. What are you doing? Rico, go ahead. Like,
Not looking. They're not even looking around for incoming.
All right.
You know.
This is okay. It all has to start from episode 7. All right.
Like,
First,
huh?
the disconnect. All right. As I said in the last episode, we talked about the disconnect is the fact that the show did not address Katara's necklace, which
Mm,
leads to
Paku.
learning that, oh, it was Paku that made that for Gran, who was originally arranged to marry Paku, but then she didn't take it. I mean, that was to not put that in the show is
No,
a
well,
huge disconnect, which explains the better relationship development between Paku and Katara, which explains how she becomes a master. She became a master by going under his tutelage. So, for her in the live action show to be called a master when she did not have proper training, I don't care if she's a prodigy. You can argue a prodigy is a genius, but prodigies need training as well. And that was the one thing that really bothered me about Katara being called, oh, Master Katara. I'm like, really? Go ahead, Top. I'm gonna go on furthermore on,
no,
but I want to get your thoughts on this.
no, because like I should have mentioned it before, but the thing that really irks me is that they decided to write out sexism, but it's still relevant. Like,
Yes.
okay, like Sokka, they took that out they took that out, right? But it's just like it's so crucial for his character development because not only does he grow as a person, but we know that because of like where like his environment that like that's how it is. And so like when they go into the Northern Water Tribe, it's not any different. Like they're
It-
both sister tribes. Like
yes.
there's still sexism, there's still misogyny. Like that's why Han and Sokka didn't go very well together because Sokka was like, "You're treating the girl I love like an object, like a prize."
Well, and
And
that's the other thing too about Yue saying I did not go with with marrying him because he's not the husband
yeah,
I need. I mean, come on. You kind of
and then it like and then it like goes back to like the reason why Paku even decided to to train Katara was because he saw that she had the necklace and he was like, I made this for your grandmother. And she was like, well, she left because she didn't like the tribe's traditions. And so he was like, oh, you're
shit.
so right. Oh my god, Master Katara. Like, I will teach you. So like the fact
But
that they decided to write it out in the live action completely, and then
yeah,
it kind of it just they didn't realize that it was gonna crumble wrong,
yes.
if that makes sense. Like it's just
No, makes
like it was
perfect sense.
missing a lot of more elements that kind of like made the story more
It,
rich. So
it
it's like
made perfect sense because
Yeah.
the fact that not only was that necklace of vital importance to the development of Paku and Katara's relationship as people, but it also was a very important, vital part leading to them becoming the student master relationship too,
Mhm.
because it was their fight and that necklace that realized, okay, she really is worthy to learn how to fight as a waterbender, right? And to bleep all that out in the live
Yeah.
action show, and then oh, she's a master because she managed to learn all the basic stuff on the scroll,
Mm.
which by the way, the problem with learning from the scroll, and this is from my experience as a martial artist studying, okay? The problem with learning from the scroll is that not everything is written down.
Yeah.
And the reasons for that is because it's encrypted. If say that scroll was stolen, all right, and it fell into enemy hands, they will know the secrets. That's why it's never fully written down, never fully illustrated. All the steps are not completely there
Yep.
because of that reason.
I want to like.
And
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry about that. Sorry, Momo. But and that explained, and that was perfectly done well in the animated series with the pirates when they had the water scroll. They don't know what it. They know it's a waterbending scroll. They know it's rare, but they can't read it, so they up the price. They up the value of it, right? I mean, Aang, 1 copper piece, 2 copper
Ooh,
piece,
copper
right?
pieces.
And but so for Katara to learn everything and become a master under under the scroll is kind of an insult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely want to
Yeah.
say, like, if I'm just gonna interject because I have a few things you guys have been going on, and I am like,
Sorry.
no, as in like
Sorry.
this is great because I'm like, ooh, I gotta add that to my list, gotta add that to my list, I gotta add that to my list. But like, so I'm actually looking at the chat. So Dr. Barry's coming in, and he is saying like he felt that how the kid addressing Katara as master feels so
Mm,
forced. And I think you guys brought up some really
yeah.
good and
Yeah.
some really good points. The waterbending necklace symbolizing the connection between Katara and Paku, and their relationship, and how Paku takes her in as her student, and that's how she becomes a master. Those are all important context points, and that feed into the story of how Katara becomes a waterbending master. You take that all out, and the only thing you have is the fight between Katara and Paku. And that's basically, he's like, oh, you're a master now. You're a master. No, but like, to answer your question, Dr. Barry in the chat, he says, what do you guys think of the Paku Katara fight itself? And he's talking about the action. And we talked about this
Mm.
previously too.
It
Like,
was weak.
it was weak. It
It
was
was weak.
weak. The bending, the CGI, I think it really, bending needs to be impactful. It needs to be fast. It can be difficult to do to actually have CGI elements and then kind of like linked and then have to, martial art bend it at the same time and have it flow in a way that's, that gives it that oomph. But it didn't, it was missing that.
Yeah,
And so you get that, you don't get any of the context, and then it just looks like she just, and he's like,
waving around.
Yeah.
you're a
Yeah.
master.
Now, going forward, the fight between Katara and Zuko, I'm going to acknowledge that got better. It was fast paced, especially when they reused the line, "You little peasant, you found the master," didn't you? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. As he was standing about it, he was
yes,
standing behind that invisible saran wrap.
yes,
It's
yes.
supposed to be an ice wall.
I, I must admit that fight was better than the previous fights
Yeah.
in previous episodes. But I think they were doing that purposely to show Kitara's evolution of being a waterbender master. I just thought it was poorly executed, mainly because of the whole she did not get proper training.
Agreed.
So, oh, go ahead, Toph.
No, I was just gonna say that it kind of just goes to show like what production found important because they were like, cause like you said, the fight with Zuko and Katara got significantly better. So I just like maybe they just thought that would be more important than the fight between her and Paku. But it's still like I think the fights are relevant because like they move the story along and how you do it is going to determine like how well it's going to do, you know.
Hmm.
I don't that's, that's
No,
it.
yeah, you're right, and I think,
Not
ooh, I
true.
think that's kind of an interesting point. Like, why is this fight so much significantly better, and just in terms of CGI and investment? Like, why? Why is it
Yeah.
different? Let's take a step back. Let's take a look at how we got to the what's happening during that Katara Zuko fight. Zuko goes through the tunnels just like in the animated series to get to that point because he wants to take the Avatar. In the meantime, this is where I feel like there's a veerage between the animated series and like Netflix Avatar series, right? So let's shift gears just a little bit. Right before the like, it like at the same time that this Katara Zoka fight is happening, it's the Tui and La,
Mm.
The moon and
Zhao,
wolf.
fish, koi, the knife, like the air balloon coming down into the oasis. Zhao gets off. He's got the knife ready to go. And you could even take a step further before that with like Iroh and Zuko, like Zhao talking about what are they gonna do? What's the game plan?
I'm gonna kill the moon. I'm gonna kill the moon.
So it's like,
That's all I saw was facial expressions from Zhao.
I'm gonna
you know
kill
what?
it.
A tall earthbender. Take us through
Yes.
what your thoughts are from Iroh, Zhao, his plan, and landing into the
Well,
oasis.
well, like we all been saying for a long time, these episodes have been rushed. After the
Condensed.
first few episodes, we already knew what to expect from the durations of the other episodes. So I think Zhao, and you all know my opinion on Zhao, based on the other episodes that we discussed. I think he can be a little bit overly dramatic when he's delivering his lines. That guy, I don't know his real name, the one that's portraying Zhao
The
in
actor.
other films. I've seen him in a couple other films. I mean, he's a good
Rush
actor.
Hour for me.
But we got to remember, y'all. Sometimes, and I had some time to think about this. Sometimes, depending on the director, let's just say I don't want to say his name. I'm going to say it anyway. M. Night. If you notice in if you notice in M. Night's films, a lot of the actors kind of act the same versus their other movies that they're making with other directors. So
Very, very monotonish.
maybe the directors having Zhao speak in this manner. I don't know. It's coming off as very annoying. It's overly dramatic. Now I will say this because I don't for that particular character because I love Zhao in the animated series. For this particular actor portraying Zhao when they're in the Oasis and he's talking about, I don't know why he starts to scream, by the way, and he grabs the bag. I am Zhao, the Moon Slayer. He's just screaming. What, dude? As soon as you capture the fish, that's your trigger to start screaming. But anyway,
Yeah.
here's a plus. Here's a plus. I kind of like when Zhao got that knife from that fire sage, and he explains that it comes with the material from the spirit world, and it makes sense. It's logically makes sense that you would have to take some compartments from the spirit world in order to kill a spirit. So
Let
I thought
alone
that was a nice addition. And then in addition to that, I liked how they said that the knife belonged to Avatar Korra. And then
yes,
he appeared, right? He
yes,
appeared and said he sent his knife. And I
yes,
thought that was well scripted.
yes.
And I'm not going to just totally bash this show, but that deserved a highlight. I really appreciate that writing. I thought that was some very creative writing.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one too. The question is, where did the sage get that knife? I can only guess that maybe
The
maybe
library?
the library, or maybe a knowledge seeker found it, and after, maybe a knowledge seeker found it
You mean UA?
on a
UA the
battle. Maybe a
UA the
knowledge.
knowledge seeker?
UA the
I
knowledge
thought you were the
seeker.
fox.
Good lord. Maybe it was a knowledge seeker that found Kurik's knife on a battlefield where Kurik probably died fighting spirits. Who knows? I mean,
I think
but
it
but that
makes it
I
makes
agree with
sense
you on
that
that
it's
knife thing.
from the library. I think it came out that library.
But I do agree with you on the knife scenario. I kind of found
Mhm.
that pretty cool. And that was what it was revealed in that box. It was not a scroll, it was a knife. It was Kurik's knife.
Tough.
And it was never touched up at all in the animated series.
It sounds like you got something to say, Toph. I saw that raised
Yes.
hand.
Yes,
Mhm.
because the thing is, okay, I'm not sure if you guys remember this in the animated show, but the reason why, like, but the reason why Zhao was able to kill the koi with just fire was because like they said in the show that the moon spirits decided to give up their form so they can be like in the mortal plane.
Yes.
So like there's nothing special about them. They're just fish. They are spiritual, but they could have, they got with fire. So like
No, that's
like
Okay.
there wasn't a need to like get a special knife from like the spirit world.
They just
But
wanted to
you
make it
wouldn't know that
darker.
unless, yeah, but you wouldn't know unless like
you watch the
Yes.
you
series.
knew the
You know, that's a
show.
good point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that out. In the animated series, the way they go through it, Aang goes to the spirit world. He meets Avatar Roku. He's like, "Where's the moon and the ocean spirits?" And he's like,
No.
"They've been gone from the spirit world for a while. They've been down mortal, and then you got to go
Yeah.
to Ko to figure out how they became." And that's how he figures
Yeah.
out that it's Tui and La, the koi fish in the pond, and the oasis. In the live action series, it was a whole thing where it's like they only come down and become a formal, like a immortal being for like a day, and it was happened to be
Yeah.
that day. That's why it was
Yeah.
a special moon.
What a
That-
convenience.
Yeah, like, bro,
like-
like
it
how
was
come
a
you didn't
bit
know
too
this day was
convenient.
coming? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the taxi pulling up right when you're trying to leave and go somewhere. Like
Yeah.
in all those shows, it was just way too lined up. Like it just so happened to be that one day. So like I thought that's a really good call out, Toph, because I noticed
Thank
that too. So a tall earthbender, did you have something to say about that?
Yeah, I just want right before he stabs the ocean spirit,
The moon.
moon spirit. I'm sorry, moon spirit.
Moon.
Did anybody notice that when Avatar Aang was airbending, he was trying to bend the fish towards him.
Yes.
It was moving in like 0.0001
Yes.
miles per second,
Yes.
like this.
Oh my god, it reminded
I'm
me
like,
of like the earthbender scene in
dude.
the
Yeah.
M Night.
And what did
Like a
Zhao do?
group
Because
of
Zhao
them
was
and
kind of
just a little
knocked back a
boulder.
little bit, and he gets up in time. He's able, and Aang has the power to maneuver air anywhere he wants. Come on now, we know that. But yet you sit.
Bad
this
use of
is coming
slow
to you like-
motion.
the fish is coming to you like.
And
He
we
just
know
gets
he's
up
a
and like,
master
stab, stab,
because he's
stab,
got the
stab, stab, stab.
tattoos. What do you mean he's slow with airbending? Like, come
Huh?
on now.
No.
Pretty bad use of slow motion, if you ask me, on that
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, but even though they did slow it down, and as did they do a bunch of scenes, there were a bunch of moments where they did use slow motion.
Yes.
But they did they did use slow motion when Aang was airbending. But damn, I mean, Zhao got up really fast and stabbed
Yeah.
that fish. You
Yeah.
know, stab.
Yeah.
No, for real. I saw that too, and I was kind of like, you can't even tell that it's slow motion until like you see some of the other people move. But then like Zhao just comes like, what happened? Where's the slow motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to let's move into the effect of the redness in the sky, the drop of the water bending when the fish is in the bag, followed by grayscale. I just want to touch on this because there's something very minor that I noticed and I went back and rewatched the animated series, and then I had to go back to see if this was true in the live action. So I'm gonna say this out loud. I loved the cinematic effect both in the animated series and the live action series. They mirrored each other very well.
Yep.
Where in the bag, it's not dead. He's kind of impacted. It's a fish, so it's it should be in water, and everybody turns blood red, like almost like you're playing a video game. You're about to die, but you're not dead, and
Yes.
you're
nearly
red.
there.
The doo-doo things are red, and
You're nearly there.
yeah, so you get really weak, but then once it's dead, grayscale. And it was an interesting way to kind of showcase that devoid of life. There's no life right now. The moon is gone. The moon was their source of light. So really, if you're in that kind of particular predicament, then we shouldn't see anything so this was their way of almost like having night vision, and the only thing you see in color are the gusts of fire coming from the firebenders. Now, there's a very small difference. I don't know if you guys caught this or remember this, but Yue in the animated series, during that grayscale, the only other piece of color are her eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
And in the live action series, that doesn't happen.
No.
Oh.
No, but she
I
does.
don't remember
But
that part.
she does have those moments of fainting, collapsing a bit.
Yeah, and so it's like she
Yeah.
has those. Yeah, the moments of fainting that is paralleled well. But when she's talking, like, okay, like they're dealing with the aftermath of the moon being gone, in that brief moment, her eyes are blue in the animated series.
Yes, I
And
noticed that.
I think it's like one of those small things. They do a lot of showing and not telling versus Avatar being like, in the end, they both say, like, I have the moon spirit within me, and I'm going to give it back.
That's the thing, because she still has the essence of the moon in her, hence why her eyes are still blue.
So, yeah, it's just one of those small things that I noticed that I was
Now,
like, aha.
I'm trying to remember.
Rico, go ahead.
I'm trying to remember, in going back to that scene, in the animated series, when the moon got stabbed, did the waterbenders not lose their ability to bend water in the
Right.
They did. They
In
lost
the
it.
animation series,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I'm just trying to remember that part. All right. Continue.
Yeah, Toph.
Can I?
Oh, yeah.
Can I? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Tall
Go ahead.
Earthbender. Yeah, you go, and then I'll pass it to Toph.
No, I just wanted to talk about real quick. Immediately following that, there's Zuko and Iroh's on the wall. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Zuko and Iroh's on the wall. And
Yes.
Zhao, so I gotta act this out. Zuko sees Zhao, and Zhao just he's walking by, and then it shows Zuko, and then he's still walking, and then Zuko says, "I gotta go after him," and Iroh's like, "No, forget that. He's beneath you." Blah blah blah. He's still going, right? And then, and then Zuko's hyperventilating. He's mad. But
Diva.
fire breath my ass. His breathing is all off. Then he belts out this. Yeah. Zhao turns around like, oh, that's the face expression he's getting.
Like, you're
He was
alive.
like, you took everything from me. It's kind of like the doggone the players.
You're
What's the name
alive.
of the players?
Yeah.
Oh, you know how they was being dramatic when they was talking about what happened between the Avatar and the Fire Lord and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's how he was on that wall. And they started fighting, right? And right before he was about to annihilate Zhao, out another time this happened, out comes this long, drawn out discussion about
Oh God.
Ozai was against you. Azula helped me. Azula gave me this. Think about it. And he's sitting here holding Zhao. He's processing all of this long, drawn out story debate between the two. You're lying. He's still holding him. Zhao got plenty of time to smack him, by the way, or let off a fire pin. He's just sitting there holding him. You're lying. You're lying. He's like, yeah, think about it. Ozai didn't want you. Azula, it was all her idea. All her idea. I'm like, man, why you all in that man's face? And he's just sitting here. Then he walks away. And then Zhao unleashes this fire whip. And Zuko turns around. There wasn't really a contact, y'all. And Zhao goes flying off the wall. And then Iroh goes, just really quick, go back. Iroh's, and then he embraces Zuko or what have you. That right there, if you want to go back, it's about 32 minutes.
Yeah.
32 minutes into the episode, 32 minutes, 11 seconds, whatever. Go back and Kim, feel free to overlap my voice by showing this. Overlap my voice by showing this scene. but it was very drawn out. There were a lot of soggy moments, y'all, in this episode. A lot. It's like, especially with Aang, it's all my fault. Look what I did. Man, you didn't do that. The firebenders attacked. You know, and then there's a transition, a slow transition. This happens a few times in the show
Yep.
where, well, it's all right because we have your back. Yeah, now everything is hunky dory. You still have a war. You still don't have your people. It was a lot of those transitions. It was a lot of sogginess. The show was very watered down. Momo.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it to
Agreed.
Toph. Toph, you got
Toph.
something to say? Let's hear it.
Say what you gotta say.
Okay, well, I have a lot to say, but what are we talking about right now?
Well,
like,
Tall pretty much explained the Zuko and Zhao encounter. Man, you're alive, right? And then, I'm sorry, that was a terrible death. That was too rushed.
It's
All
hard.
right.
It's hard to follow a story when the
That
actors
was-
are not connected. You
That
know,
was rushed. Come on, man. You could have
it-
given him the epic Koizilla death. I mean, come on.
Ooh, I can't wait till we talk about that.
All right, Toph. All right, what were you gonna say? I want to hear what you have to say.
well, I mean, okay, I'm sure you guys have like already talked about this in previous episodes, but it's just really unfortunate how much they flattened out the characters and kind of just took away a lot of their motivations because like I okay. so I can't since I watched the live action when it came out, I can't remember how did Zhao die in the live action?
Iroh
Go
barbecued
ahead.
him.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Rico.
To sum it up, Iroh barbecued him.
Yeah.
He was gonna attack Zuko from behind, and then Iroh gave him the fire blast, and yeah.
Koizilla took Zhao away. Remember, right?
In the
And Kazuko was
animated,
trying to help him.
In the
He was like-
animated, yeah.
animated,
in the
series,
animated.
not in the live
Yeah.
action.
So the
Right.
thing with that is like another part or like another thing that they've decided to do that flattened out characters is that when in the animated when Zhao died, like you guys said, he was being pulled by Koizilla, and we see Zuko like holy like grab my hand,
Grab my hand.
and like even though they were just fighting moments before that, like that shows his humanity, like even though how he was raised, like he still wanted to save
The
Zhao.
enemy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also shows Zhao like him like refusing to take his hand and just like dying because he didn't want to take, like it shows a lot just from those actions,
His pride.
and it shows a lot of their characters. And so when they decided to it was so insignificant that I couldn't remember when they decided to barbecue him. What for what? For what? Like I
Hollywood.
thought Iroh was
Hollywood.
supposed to be cool. And that's another thing. Like I feel like they tried to make Iroh a little too like they tried too hard to have Iroh be the Iroh in the show, in my opinion. Just because like he wouldn't and he didn't barbecue Zhao like in the animated series,
No.
Like
I want to touch on that. And you actually, Dr. Barry in the chat, he actually said the same exact thing you just did.
oh, okay.
He says, seeing Zuko try to save Zhao after the ocean spirit got him in the original really stood out to me. He wishes he kept that in as well. Because it shows that character development. It shows Zhao is not, he's too egocentric to take Zhao. He doesn't want to take somebody who's been disgraced. He wants to take his hand. He was supposed to be the great Zhao.
It's Zhao's pride,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So the other thing too, the problem about not in the live action show of Koizilla not taking Zhao away kind of negates the fact that this is like Yue said,
Mhm.
it's a vengeful spirit trying to find his partner that he'll never see again. And it was Zhao that stabbed the moon. It would have been a lot more poetic if Koizilla on the live action show was gonna kill Zhao in that sense, right? I mean, but now that brings into another problem because Aang fused with the ocean. Does that mean Aang killed, which went against his principles? I don't know.
I I feel like for that, like Aang was just a vessel, and that's what he said. Like that's what he was.
Okay.
Um, like that's why he decided to be like to become the Koizilla was to not only
Okay.
like to help the water tribe, but just to like at least balance it as much as he could because the moon's gone, so
Yeah.
someone's got to water bend the fucking troops away, you know, like someone's got to clear them out, you know. And
Yeah.
oh, okay, continue.
No, yeah, I think you brought up. I like that piece. You guys brought up a really good piece there with the parallel and the poeticness again, leading to the
Mhm.
character development and how it's flattened. Where that was a part of Koizilla. Where I love that term. Koizilla's. That's the character. I mean, like vengeful spirit. It would have been the pulling. Like you kill me, I kill you. Kind of that
Yeah.
same
Like,
vengeful
you
spirit.
killed my brother, I'm gonna get my revenge on type thing, you
I
know, or
Go
just
ahead, talk.
sorry. No, I was just gonna say I also was gonna bring up that like s- mm, not only vengeful but merciful, just because like in the animated show like you see that the koi like at the end of the day is still for its people, so
Mhm.
like when you see like the water tribe like bowing down to them, and then you just see like there's a scene where Koizilla is like walking through, and there's like on one side there's a group of water tribe members, and then the other side of it is like
Right.
troops of the firebenders.
Yeah.
And he like you can tell like they glance over at the water tribe, they bow, and then the with the others, well, they try and fight and they're like nope, so it like washes over them. So it's like I think like it's a really cool kind of like duality. Like you can see again like merciful, but also like to its people, but
Vengeful.
vengeful because of what happened. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna shift gears a bit. I'm gonna pass this to you, Tall.
Oh,
In the live action series, and I want to talk about this because I was kind of like, girl, the
Okay.
way, the way. I think you guys already know what I'm talking about, but Koizilla is going out, smashing things, and then Katara's like, "Aang, don't do this." And she got the again with the whole monologuing, the whole like, y'all, there's a war happening, y'all are getting blasted by ships,
Really
and she's
think
like,
he's gonna hear
"Don't be
that?
an idiot, Tall. What are your thoughts?"
You really think he's
Yeah,
gonna hear that during all that
and,
noise? Like,
mm,
he's in
and
water.
he's in war.
you talking about? Are you talking about? Okay,
the
obviously you talking
the
about the
live
live
action.
The
action.
world needs you.
So, and then what does Aang do? Aang goes in slow motion. He looks down at her.
Okay,
Yeah, that
let
was a
me
little bit
demonstrate for you. Let me
again
demonstrate.
overly
He's like
dramatic.
this. He's like this.
Right.
Nice.
And she's just looking at him, and he gives her a little smirk, like I'm about to do this. And to jump back on what Top was saying, how and Momo, you guys were saying how Koizilla was running through the town, the Northern Water Tribe, knocking off people. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if they spent an extra couple 100,000 on it, but
It was good.
the scene where a little bit after that, now Koizilla is in the water. Now he's smashing up ships, and that didn't look too bad, to be honest. It was
That was
the
good.
lighting was perfect. CGI, it was okay. It wasn't bad. The only thing is, he's there's still hundreds of ships. You know,
Mhm.
he's knocking them, and knocking them, and knocking them. But if you guys remember in the live action episode, he water bends, and he's just
Yes.
water bending them away, water
Yes.
bending them away, or whatever. And they're going all the way up the ocean, knocking into each other. But in the live action, he's just smacking them around. Like, man, at this rate, it's going to take you an hour to knock all these doggone ships in half.
Yeah.
You know, but okay, whatever, Hollywood. I done said it a million times. But the CGI in that moment, I was feeling it. They was launching the fireballs at him, and the fireballs was hitting Koizilla, and then he was
It was
Aang, and
flashing.
the Koizilla was reacting to it
Yep.
and everything. So I kind of enjoyed that scene, that part of the scene anyway.
What is also cool is that after Yue sacrificed herself, Koizilla just drops gradually with
Hmm.
the rest, with the ocean
Mm.
surrounding
Hmm.
him too, and I found that pretty cool as well.
Hmm.
You know?
Hmm.
Speaking of that, uh, the fact that Yue, we all know what she had to do, okay? Because as a child, very sick, she was put in the oasis and she was given life from the moon. Remember when Momo got crushed by debris in the live action?
Yes.
He's Moon Spirit too, dude.
He's got moon spirit genes in him when he got revived. Now, here's
Why
my
not? Right?
here's my question. Because Yue sacrificed herself to give life back to the moon, wouldn't Momo have to do the same thing as well?
Maybe he's
Well,
just
we
backup
talking
for
about a
the
little
next
spirit.
time.
No,
We're
it
talking about we're
doesn't
talking about a
matter.
little spirit, buddy. A
It
little,
doesn't matter.
like
Yue
two
was
percent,
a baby, probably
2%.
tinier than Momo, or maybe the same
Oh,
size
you're
as a
talking about in
lemur.
that moment.
Think about it.
That's true. I can't argue. I wish I could argue with you because I enjoy arguing with you, Rico.
Of
But
course,
I can't argue this time.
but you
You're right.
can't, because you know what I'm saying is
You're
valid,
right.
right?
You're true. That's true.
So, Momo, what do you think?
Yeah, Momo. What do you think about Momo, Momo?
What do you think, Momo?
No, that's a tricky one because what's going through my head with that that thing you pointed out. Because Momo, now he was put into the oasis and the moon spirit helped heal him. So should he? I guess the question is, they didn't show, when the moon spirit was captured. Yue goes like this, but we don't see Momo go like this. You know what I mean? We don't see him get weak. So they kind of just erased that a little bit. And then on top of that, it's like, does he have to? Like, was Yue enough? Was there enough of the spirit within Yue to revive the koi? The answer is yes. So should Momo also have to give up his spirit, or would you're raising a good point that's a hole. That is a hole.
It is
Like,
one of the biggest holes I noticed the moment I saw that. And I'm like, dude, what the heck?
what's the explanation for that? I actually don't know. I can't disagree with you because I don't know how they would have done it otherwise.
Tough, what do you think?
I think we're diving way too deep.
I'm sorry, but
I'm like in my
Tough,
mind, like leave Momo alone. So y'all expecting the
What do you
spirit, but
think?
y'all expecting the spirit to say, yo, give me my spirit back too. Give me my spirit back too, buddy. You go ahead and die or whatever. I
Tough,
want
what do you
all of
think
it.
about that?
All of it.
What do you think, Toph? I
mean, was it necessary for Momo to get crushed?
that's another
No.
thing too.
No.
No.
No, it was not.
There was time to shout, "Move! Move out the way!
Get out the way! Get out the way!
Like, I get it, dramatics, whatever. But was it necessary? No. That's that. I mean, because if that's the case, every person that dies in the tribe, like, are you just gonna go take them to the oasis and
To
they're
the
good again,
oasis.
or what are the rules of the oasis? Because when in the animated series, when Yue came out like as a stillborn, they begged the moon spirits.
Yeah.
They're like, please. And so, boom,
And to
life.
baptize her in the oasis.
And her
Yeah.
hair turned white.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
that was the reason why
Why
she's
did not
Yeah.
Momo? Why didn't Momo's hair turn white?
Because he was already white.
He's
No.
already
Yeah,
white.
already
I
white.
mean,
No, I did
So
want to bring
Momo.
up something about Yue though. Like, there's a theory that like was brought up. I don't remember where, but basically someone said that Yue could have been the avatar after Aang because she
Yeah, I
was
know that theory.
born around the same time that he would have died, and she was born like with no spirit. And so they filled
Mm.
her with the moon spirit, or like she took upon like the moon spirit. I thought that was a cool
It's
theory
a cool
because like
theory.
it lines up. And like I don't know if the or like the creators were like, ho ho ho, we're gonna do this. But it's a cool connection that
But in a way,
I
that
would
kind of
like
An
to
ties
Easter
believe
in
is
egg.
just
cool,
like
like
in
true.
that kind of ties in with the Kyoshi book with the false avatar Yun, right?
Yeah.
Because Yun knows the Paisho strategies
Keurig,
as
yeah.
yeah, and
Like I just thought that was a cool theory, like going
it's a
on
pretty
into
good theory.
UA.
That's a
So
good one.
Yes, it's a good theory.
That's
Um,
interesting. I
Tall,
give
you
it
said
that.
you were gonna say something.
No, I was going to talk about Masha.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to ready if you're ready to
Conclusion.
conclude because I
yeah.
think we
Like let's move towards the end scenes because I think there's some
okay.
really good content towards the end scenes,
Okay.
and then we'll finish it
Yes,
up at
So
that point.
yes,
Um,
so Masha,
yes.
right? Masha, it shows Azula, and it was the conclusion of that battle. I feel like we were robbed.
Mhm.
I'm like, wait, what happened? What? Azula removes her helmet. Yeah, Masha belongs to us. Out comes the Fire Nation's insignia, rolls
and
over just
here's
like
Boomy
like
all
in
cleaned
in
up,
the animation.
and here's
But I feel
Boomy
like we
cleaned
were
up.
wrong. I feel like we should have seen some level of sequence of a battle and watch King Boomy do his thing. And I'm pretty sure they're going to save it for the White Lotus scene, which I'm looking. They bet
Oh,
not. Momo, I promise you, if they rob us of the White Lotus battle with
Bossing Say,
Iroh
and
and
yeah,
Boomy and
P and Dow
P
and
and
John John.
Dow, if they rob us of that, I'm gonna be so devastated. They're gonna get some letters. Okay, I'm just telling you. But I feel like we were robbed, and I feel like that scene could have better been explained because I'm sure the audience, and I always try to look at it when I'm watching this particular series. I'm trying to watch it without being a fan, a critical fan. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that anybody that's never seen the animated series would probably say, "Well, what just happened?
Well,
How'd she get to Omashu?
yeah,
You know
but we
what happened?"
also but we
So,
also have to remember, as somebody watch going in fresh, we know that there were Fire Nation spies in Omashu, so they probably had intel to give to Fire Nation, had it the about what the layout of how Omashu is. If that's what I would be assuming as somebody going in fresh, not knowing anything. But yes, at that point, we did feel robbed as a fan, as fans that know the content before we walked in watching the live action show. Yeah, we were robbed.
mhm.
We were robbed of that.
And I think with fresh eyes, Rico, that a lot of people want to see what Zulu can do. They see the fire, they see the lightning, but they don't see Zuko and Iroh. This is with fresh eyes as a non-fan. They see everything that Iroh can do, Zuko could do, Katara, and now you see Azula like, man, this girl right here, she bends lightning and her fire is different. I want to see what happens. So once they conquer Omashu in the live action series, I feel like a new fan would have been like, man, I want to see what she did. Like
What
how they
she do,
conquer
yeah,
that
much
city.
like how she took over Bossing Say type idea,
Yeah.
right?
I
But
remember. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to add in. I remember, and I don't know if I'm wrong in this, but I do remember earlier in the series, when they found out that there was some intel going around that the Fire Nation was going to invade the north, and so
Mm.
Omashu sent some of their troops over to the north to help defend. I don't remember seeing
I
those
don't
troops.
remember
Maybe I could be
seeing those
wrong,
at all.
but
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
think some of their defenses were weakened because because they got the intel that the Fire Nation was
Mm.
going to march on the north,
Mhm.
which is why it became so easy
Mhm.
to infiltrate Omashu because they
Yeah.
created that diversion. Um,
Mhm.
I'd have to do my research then again, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think I would have loved to see like how did King Boomy fall? Like King Boomy, we see him and we know him as this one of the most at that moment the most powerful Earthbender we've met. So, for his entire nation to fall so easily to Azula, like,
Yeah.
In the animated, right?
in the animated, they don't show Omashu.
They don't show Umashu get taken down.
I can tell you.
They don't show
No,
Umashu
so-
taken down already. It was already
So the reason why, I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but Boomy. So the reason why King Boomy was like, you gotta find a different earthbending teacher,
Yes.
was because of neutral Jing, which
Yes.
is waiting and listen.
Listening.
So so when they invaded, like that's why his soldiers were like so pissed, like the rebels, they were so pissed because they were like, our great king just surrendered.
surrendered.
He just
yeah.
surrendered.
That's
So
right.
he
I'm
didn't do
gonna do-
anything.
I'm gonna
And that's
do
because
nothing.
yeah.
That's right.
And if you remember that, he's part of the White Lotus, so they probably already had like little
He had a plan.
Mhm.
Yes.
You are right.
Mhm.
You are right. You are right.
Oh, one little thing. The final at the during the credits, you have Ozai and a sage are looking at the
Yes.
cosmic calendar.
Yes.
I'm like,
Mm.
that's Sokka's. Because
Yes.
remember Sokka in the library, Toph, right?
Yes.
In the library,
Yes.
he's going through the dates and everything. And he said, now I know why. What's the lines?
There's a
Now
no,
I
the-
know why.
The difference is though, Sokka was looking for when is the next eclipse. This one in particular in the
Right.
live action show was looking at the date for Sozin's
Sozin's
comet,
comment.
Mhm.
right?
Right. But it's the same calendar.
It's the same calendar.
That comment, that sun and that sun and moon was probably underneath, because if you notice, it was circulating as he was going.
Yes.
So I'm like, that's from the library.
The library, yeah.
Toph,
But yeah,
can you say something? I can't hear
Oh,
you.
you're muted.
No, we cannot.
not at the end.
No, no. No, we can't hear you. Let me just make sure. Sorry, technical difficulties. Let me try again.
Always the plug and unplug. No, nothing.
Nothing?
Nice microphone, by the way.
All right, but I oh man, Lisa, because I wanted to hear what she had to say. But one thing I wanted, and as we're troubleshooting that, one thing I do want to mention is that it's something I found interesting about the ending scenes. How Azula took over
Omashu.
Zhao, he was like, I'm going to be the greatest of all time. Zuko, you are just a puppet. Not knowing that he was just a puppet himself. It was a little bit of poetry there. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was a little bit of that circular poetry that Zhao believed that he was the greatest of all time and died a hero, but he was actually just a puppet in a bigger plan. Like, he was the 41st division that was sacrificed so that they could go and take Omashu.
Pretty much. And I think the whole time it was Azula that was pawning both her brother and Zhao to that extent, because she wanted to prove herself to Ozai, right?
Right, exactly.
In this version, at least. But
So if I had to rate the episode,
Yep.
everyone, I would say
5.
six.
I
I'd
do
say
not give it a
6.5.
6.5.
On the series Richter scale.
Yeah.
Netflix, keep working on it.
Keep working on it, Netflix.
Hopefully in season 2. I think they received, I truly believe that they received enough criticism that they can go back to the drawing board, not the storyboards, but the drawing board. Go back and kind of recreate some ideas that they probably already.
Oh, we got her.
Yay! Okay.
Got you.
Sorry. Thank you.
Hey, she's
Continue.
back.
You got the
Right.
talk.
So 6.5.
6.5.
6.5. What about you, Rico? How would you rate this
6.5.
episode? 6.5?
6.5. Yeah.
Toph, we know your feelings about this show. How would you rate this last season finale?
Uh-oh.
Maybe a 6.
Yeah.
6.5. 6.5 sounds like a good like a good
Oh.
number.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna give it low because I think the cinematography was there. I think they did a better job with the CGI. The CGI for Koizilla was pretty good and like well done. The bending battle between Katara and Zuko, even though we've expressed our feelings about the bending as a whole in the series, was lackluster at best. I think this one was one of the better battles. So, and I feel like there were some points that they missed that they could have really captured some of the essence of Avatar and the characters. I'm kind of like slightly lower on the 6 end, but I don't want to give it anything lower because I think production wise, I think they did
Yeah.
good for a season finale. But when it ties into the whole series as a whole, when you compare it to the animated series, which I hate to do because it's not canon, it's just an adaptation, it's an interpretation of the events,
Yes.
right? It's hard.
It's
hard.
just my biggest pet peeve is just how much they flattened out the characters.
Yeah.
That's just because it has a great story and it's just like you can't downplay it because even though we're not living in this world of like water bending all this
Or
like they
invested.
still touched on like very real subjects and very real people, like it's just when they take away their motivations and when they decide to give them like new ones, like for example Katara was like my biggest letdown just because in the series or in the animated series, like we used to clown her for like being the mom, but that's what made her a great character
The
because
creepy
like
Katara.
like
The creepy Katara.
she was like she had a lot of hope. Like not only was her family directly affected by the world, but so was her tribe and so was the rest of the world. Like she was personally affected by the war. And in the series or like in the live action, she's like, we got to help the Avatar because mom said so. Like because mom would do. Like it was just like because of mom, because of mom, because of mom. But that's not the point. Like it's because of her mom that she wants to help. Like she literally sees Aang and she's like, this is hope for ending the war. She's like, I'm so close. We got to get this kid like to go training. Like we got to.
Yeah.
And it's just like throughout the series she's just very like reserved and like very like
Yeah, I want to
the
point out
mom
another
said
thing.
so. Like it's just like
I want to
like,
point out another thing too regarding her, like when she reconnected with Paku post the aftermath of the war, and how he's like, "You reminded me that water is the element of change, and we got to change too." Blah blah blah.
mm-hmm.
Go, master. Here, a piece of the a piece of the oasis. We can use you to train more. What I'm like, really? Come on, like. Yeah, but I gotta train the Avatar. I'm like, well, he's gonna have a fine master now. I'm like, right there, you know. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Like in the series, he was like, "All right, well, he's got to get used to calling you
He's
like
got to get used
Master
to calling you
Katara."
master. Yeah, because
Like
he acknowledged.
he knew her destiny, like he knew like what she had to do, and so like the live action to be
It's
like,
not only that, he
"Stay."
promoted her. He literally
Yeah,
promoted her to master status, and like, it's
yeah.
just, ugh, not
Yeah,
like
it's just again like the hardships. Oh my god, and then Azula, I didn't like them showing her in the first season, even though like in the animated series we see her at the end, at literally at the end of
yes,
it. But it's just like they show her unhinged versus like at the end where like her downfall, like
yeah.
she's a little like my dad like like we know she has daddy issues, but not like how she has mommy issues, like like it's
Right.
just um she's supposed to be very sharp, calm, collected, not like you know, just a little like, oh, I gotta do it, and so my dad will notice me, and I'm so much better, and da da da, you know, like it's just like you kind of lost her character a bit there, you know, like
It's in fact the
it's
last scene of the animated series is O's eyes just like, I was a traitor, Zuko's a failure. Gonna depend on
clean
you,
up
and
this
then she
mess.
just goes like this,
Yeah, she's
you
like,
know, like
Like,
yep.
yeah,
calm,
He's
Right.
like,
like
he's
calm,
great. It's like
collected.
it's like
dude.
he opened up the cage door and she's ready to go buck wild.
The
You know?
root of evil.
When she was taking over the Dai Li, and she was
Hmm.
like, "Don't even flatter yourself. You weren't even a player."
Even
Like,
there.
dude,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
was that? Where
Yeah.
was
Who
that
wrote
in the
that?
live
Yeah.
action? I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm just like, you guys
And
thought
let's
you could do better than the original creators, but you couldn't, man.
well, let's not forget
Like
too.
you should have kept them on, bro.
I
Like,
mean, remember too, we talked about this with when Yay Time was a guest about how May and Ty Lee they were just there, right? I mean, we it, ca- they were just like, okay, they're just standing there, hardly doing anything. I mean, could you at least let them do something while they're talking to her? Like, can you can you have May at least throw some daggers at the target while she's
like
talking to
also
Ursula?
training, yeah.
Or have Tylee doing a few flips and stretches and the splits while talking to her, because
Yeah,
that'll
like
give us an
literally
idea
training with
that
her,
because
right?
it would get an incentive about who these two girls are hanging out with Azula. I mean, for those who are walking in fresh, I mean, like,
Yeah.
ooh, they must be
We
they must
know
be
that,
deadly, as opposed to
yeah.
who are these two? You
We
know,
know
just
May
Yeah.
and Ty Lee are very, very, very skilled in what they do, even
Mm-hmm.
though they're not benders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Which
know,
is huge.
so it's kind of interesting to see that they were just kind of standing there like, Azula, it's just your dad.
Azula.
I mean, come on, they did a better job with Suki on that part. I mean, but not with.
But
That's saying something.
I do want to close it out here because A, we're trying to save some content for the next episode, y'all. But also,
sorry.
no, it's okay. This conversation is to be continued.
Of course.
So what we hope to do for our next episode is start to go into what we predict for season 2
my
live action series.
Okay,
What
I'm
do
gonna
we want to see? What will be like what will be if they took it out is a boycott? What is it? What do you think they will change based on what we've seen in season 1? And I would love to just kind of dig into that. You know, get your notepads ready, get your thoughts ready, because we're gonna dive right in.
I have to say this because my major concern at the moment is the fact that Gordon, like a little wee 12-year-old when he started this show, he's growing.
Yeah.
He's growing
And
So fast.
He's growing fast. Okay, he will not fit into his Air Nomad clothes, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
It's
with
kind
that.
of sad to see
You
that
can't control
because
that. Nobody can control that. That's the
Yeah.
natural course of things. But
Yeah.
what are the writers gonna do about this?
It's
You
the sad
cannot
thing about
delay Sozin's Comet, for instance. You know what I mean? You
Right.
can't delay it anymore. It has to. Something's got to give. Or are they gonna write it in that he's growing too fast because when he was stuck in the Avatar state for 100 years, he's catching up. I don't know.
It's a sad thing about like that American television and how we do seasons and stuff because the entirety of the Avatar like series takes place within like a year, maybe.
Yeah,
Not even like a summer. Like,
Yeah,
you've got the
yeah.
winter, the like
Yeah,
the,
because he has to learn all
The
those
winter
elements in the
solstice.
course of a year until when
Sozin's
summer
Comet.
drops because Sozin's Comet's about to hit, right?
and
So
so like
it's
you're right. He doesn't hit puberty in that like entire year.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't grow spurt. He doesn't grow up in that period. It's only a year versus like 12 to 13. That's not a big change versus taking a year or two just to film and then another year
Yeah.
or two after that to film the
Yeah.
last season. Like if they don't do season 2 and season 3 in one shot,
simultaneously. Yeah.
you're gonna lose a lot of that. But again, This is for our next episode, y'all.
Yeah. Not to bust Jordan, if you're watching this, not to bust your chops. I mean, I met you, but you were doing a great job. Just not. I just hope you do it right, kid. You're doing all right. Just
All
keep
right.
up alive, man.
So we're gonna close out. Thanks for joining us, for all the folks in the chat and just watching this live. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciated your additional commentary. You know, that's what we're here for, just to talk about this show with the fans, because we are fans too. It's literally just a bunch of us being like, let's talk about Avatar and let's do it live so that people can talk about Avatar
And if
with us.
if you want to come back on, just let us know.
Yeah, if you want to be
If you want to come back on, let us know.
let us
Oh my
know.
god.
Oh my gosh, like this is why we're here, y'all. But we're gonna close this out. Catch us soon for our next episode. If you want, follow us on Instagram, Avatar_Origins. If you want to see some more fan related content, some more, we'll try to announce when we're gonna do lives again. You want to continue this discussion onwards, let us know. Join us there. Join us here on YouTube. We're just going to be dropping stuff because we love the Avatar so much. That's just what we're going to do. Anyway, we're going to close it out. Ready?
Yep.
Avatar Origins.
Origins.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Whistle for him.